Good day, folks. Thank you for joining us here at Build Day 2. We're very excited you are joining us today. We've got a great presentation for you on the navigation UX framework. So I'm David Snyderman. I lead product marketing on navigation and automotive here at Mapbox. And just before we dig in, I'll just give you a few shout outs here or just a few notes on the sessions. So this session and all our sessions at Build are being recorded, just so you know that, and you'll be able to access this recording and everything throughout the week at the Zoom lobby page. So make sure you come back and take a look at some of the sessions you may have missed. Everything will be up there. There's also closed captions if you want those. At the bottom of your window here in Zoom, you'll see a button that says CC, which may be behind the little more button there, at least it is on my screen. And then you can get your captions up in a variety of languages. So that's there for you. We will be taking questions. So if you have a question for Dima as you go through, uh, click the Q&A button at the bottom of your screen there and drop your questions there, and we'll get to them during the session. Okay, I think that's all for me. Let me introduce Dima to you. Dima Samarian. He's one of our talented software developers here at Mapbox working on navigation. And Dima's going to talk to you about the UX framework and building some really cool things. So Dima, I'll let you take it away from here.
Yeah, thanks, David. Hey, everyone. Thank you for joining. Yeah, my name is Dima, and I'm software engineer in Navigation SDK team. And here's our agenda for this session. And today I want to talk about our new navigation service, UX framework, and say some word about its feature, what it has, what it means. Then we will have quick demo sessions. I will show the application that we can build on top of UXF, what feature it has, how we can customize this application with UXF, and we'll show you Compose API. So let's get started. Before dive in, I want to say a few words about another SDK we work with, Core SDK. Core SDK is built on top of Mapbox services, such as Direction API, Metrics API, etc. And it gives developers a lot of components to build navigation app. It allows to fetch routes, to draw them on the map, control camera, play voice instructions, etc. With Core, you can create fully customized navigation application, but you need to coordinate all of the components by yourself. And it usually takes a lot of time and effort, and that's why we decided to introduce UX framework. UX framework, or UXF for short, is a set of flexible UI components and user flows that builds on top of other Mapbox SDKs, such as Core, I mentioned earlier, Maps, Search, and etc. And all of them combined into one framework. And it makes much easier to build the best possible navigation experience using UXF and powered by our services. UX framework gives developers a wide range of options for customization, integrations, and existing extension of the existing navigation experience. With UXF, developers can quickly build and launch the app, then easily adjust the UI to match their needs and design, then deploy a production-ready solution for vehicles, tablets, or even phones on day one, and then evolve it at their own pace. Just start from our predefined UI components and then customize it to match your brand, and if you need, you can go deeper with Core SDK to have full control. So let's unbox UX framework, and let me switch to the documentation page. Yeah, here's the main documentation page of Mapbox, and unfortunately, we don't have UXF documentation listed here. And if you want to find the entry point, you need to use this search box and type UXF here. So here it is, Navigation SDK UX framework. Here's the general overview. It describes what feature it has, how we can integrate it, who you need to contact to start using it. Also, there is left side navigation here and get started page. This is a step-by-step guide that show how to install SDK. And for those who have never built with any Mapbox SDK, first step is you need to create a secret token. Also, you need your public token. Secret token you need to in order to download dependencies from our custom Maven repository, and public token is needed for getting access to our services like maps, navigation, direction, etc. And also, there is a kind of hello world example at the end of this. And yeah, also I will demonstrate how it works based on this example. So we put a lot of effort into making this guide as clear and accurate as possible. You can go through it and to understand how to install SDK. So let's get started and switch to Android Studio. The codes I already prepared in advance. So what I just did here, I created a new project. It was empty view activity. Then from get started page, I copied repository, Maven repository that I will need to include for your project. Also in advanced, I prepared secret token and public token and put they into local properties and string XML files accordingly. So we added Maven repository, so we have access to dependencies. Now we need to add UXF to your build Gradle file of your application. And the latest version is 1.3 RC1, and here it is. Don't forget to sync the project before the next step. And next step, you need to extend application class and create your own. In onCreate function, we need to put init function. Sorry, let me just comment out. Just comment out this. We need to put -init. Don't be confused with dash term. It's another name for our UX framework, just for short. And it requires only the context, which we already have in application, and access token that we put into strings in advance. And then don't forget to declare your application in your manifest file. And also the last step, we need to instantiate dash navigation fragments in main activity class and put it to fragment manager. So that's all. Let's open my device, my tablet. Yeah, here it is. And try to build and launch the app. Let me read this lines. Okay, it's working. Just need to give some access to locations. Yeah, here it is. So here we have, let me show some basic features that we have here out of the box. Here we can see so-called free drive state. In that mode, in that state, we have a pack that represents a user current position. And while user is traveling, pack reflects, while user is traveling, it reflects on the map. Also, we have live traffic here on the roads. Camera here is following the pack and focusing on it. And we also have some UI blocks like speed limits, our current speed, some controls at the left corner. Yes, and let's take a look at the left top corner and at the button that appears here. It's the button that controls camera and allows to manipulate it. Let's click and see how it works. Yeah, it switches the camera between user-oriented mode and north tracking mode. Yeah, that's north tracking mode and user-oriented mode. And let's add a new option to this button and allow application to switch to 3D mode. Okay, here we need to not extend, but put lambda after init function and use UI builder. And now, yeah, we need free drive camera 3D mode enabled. Set to true. Let's try it out. Okay, let's try to tap it again. North-oriented mode, and is 3D view mode. Yeah, looks great. Yeah, and this is one of the options that available out of the box. Also, let's try to add the street label that user is currently on. Assume that I don't remember how to do that. Then let's switch to documentation page. Yeah. And go to configuration API. That's the API that we already used when added new 3D mode. And this API allows you to configure appearance of UXF and turn off and on particular features from UXF. And all possible configuration are listed here. And this time we need UI configuration. And specifically, we want to show street name on the map. Let me check possible values, and yeah, here's example. Let's copy this line and put it here. But only we need always. We want to show it always instead of only free drive. Okay, now we can see at the bottom the street name label the user currently on, and yeah, this label is also customizable as well as all other UI elements on the map, but we will explore it a bit later. But let's discover free drive further. At the bottom of the screen, you can see search buttons. The first one with magnifier icon, open full search screen. We will see it later. Other buttons are kind of quick search for categories, for coffee, for restaurant, for fuel station, and parking. Let's try run search for coffee shops. Once we do that, the UXF and the app switched into a search state. Some UI elements disappear. As you can see, camera moves from user-oriented state to nose tracking. And also camera feeds search result into viewport. And also we have search result as a list. Also we can move camera and try to search again. Yeah, as you can see, park is not fitted into visible viewport. It's only about result. Let's select the first item, tap on the first POI. Here we can see kind of destination preview state with detailed information about place. Here we have the name, distance to that location, approximate ETA, TripAdvisor review, working hours, and so on. Let's tap on preview route and see what happens. Yeah, just under the hood, the UXF fetches the route, draw them onto the map, attach to each of them callouts with ETAs, and change the UI of the left panel. Also, we can see that now camera is focusing on the cool routes, and we can, by the way, we can switch between them by typing in the list or from the map. Yeah. Okay, let's start navigation. Now we see so-called active guidance state. In this state, you can see guidance banner at the top that shows the next action I need to take. Lane guidance sometimes appear. Speed limits, trip summary data. Also, if we tap on guidance banner, we can see maneuver list. Oh, sorry. Maneuver list. Yeah, and also we have end route button to lift navigation. In this state, camera is focusing on the back, and while user is driving, it's following the path. And once user is approaching maneuver, it will frame that maneuver. What next? Also, alternative routes are presented here as well, so we can switch between them.
Continue for a half mile.
I don't know if you can hear, but it's just giving me a prompt what to do. Okay. So everything you need for navigation is available out of the box. And let me try to find another destination, maybe here. Also, oh no, sorry. It's too close. We need something in the distance, like 9. Yeah, also here you can see parking button. It's so-called contextual search. So if we tap on it, it will find parking near destination. It's mostly useful when destination is an airport and you need to choose the right terminal. So you will see terminals instead of parking, and you will be able to find the best terminal to drive in. Let's now explore full search screen. Search button, magnifier button, moved a bit, but still here. And here we still have...
Drive north on 12th Street Northwest. Then turn right onto H Street Northwest.
Let me turn off voice instructions. Category, quick category buttons are still here, as we have in free drive, but in this state, in active guidance state, category search are performing along the active route. So I'm going to leave navigation and explore other feature in full search screen. We also have favorites list. We never added anything here. By default, we show recents. Let me add something to favorite. Yeah. Favorites. We have different types of favorites, like home and work. Which we can define. We can define home. Let me try. Okay. And also you can type anything in the search box. Let me show you. Airport terminal. Okay, yeah, here's destination preview state. Let's add this to favorite. And now I will tell you about multi-stop route planning. Let me demonstrate how it works. We have POI card opened. We tap preview routes as we already did, and here we have pencil icon. I'm going to tap on it, and the app switch to edit trip state. So we can add additional waypoint as destination. Let me do that. I do it from recent. Yeah, it's Starbucks. And UXF automatically rebuild the routes, suggested alternatives, and also we can keep editing our routes. Assume that we want to add petrol station because we need to refuel. Okay, let's find fuel station. Yeah, it's not so clear. Okay, the first one. Yeah, as you can see, now we have several stops. And if you change your mind and want to grab your coffee first, just move the Starbucks to the first position. Yeah, that's how our multi-stop route planning works. And after tapping down, we can navigate this route. So as you can see, UXF provides end-to-end navigation experience out of the box. Let me show slide. Out of the box, and the feature I demonstrated is just a basic for navigation application. It also has some nice features for electric vehicles. It has features like weather. It has its own GPT assistant integrated into framework that can handle a lot of navigation actions. And this, I believe, these amazing features will be covered in other sections. And as I mentioned earlier, all UI elements are customizable, and you can build any of them from scratch. And now let's change the default search panel. on the map. UXF uses Android Compose API, so we can build UI from scratch using this modern toolkit. So let's switch back to documentation. And now we need a customization API. And this API allows you to configure the app style, like icons, colors, fonts, markers on the map, as well as create your own unique UI for views and layers on the map. So let's open search panel customization. Here we have a screenshot of an example, a small guide how to customize it, and at the end, the link to GitHub repository with that example. I already have the necessary changes prepared, so we can go back to Android Studio. I have it in my shelves. Okay. Okay. And since we added compose dependency to our build Gradle file of application, we need to sync the project. And while it's in progress, let me check if I think it's correct. No. Not correct. Okay. Here are the main changes. The first step, we need dash fragment. Then we need to call appropriate method, appropriate function on it. In that case, we need set search panel. And this function accepts a lambda, which provides a modifier and search panel state. If you don't want to have this panel, you can just leave this function body empty. In our example, I added a compose function that overrides that panel. Here's a row. I just call it search row, but it's a simple row. Within it, we have a button with home icon. Yeah, it's just search panel button. It's just an icon. By tapping on it, I want to open my home favorite that was predefined before. Let's build and see how it works. Yeah, let me say a few words about state. When you override anything, any UI element with UXF, you will have a related state object that may have some characteristic of that UI element, so you can reuse them to build your own UI. Also, it may have some callbacks you can call. Like here, we have we have on home click callback, and we use it when click on home button. Okay, let's try. Yeah, it opens my predefined home place. By the way, let me open search panel state. Yeah, here you can see that this state is pretty simple and has several callbacks, like on home click, on work click, and on category click. Usually states UXF uses these classes to build their own UI, and with that states you can implement the same UI as your UXF provides. There's a lot of different states. This is the simplest one. Let me show you another state. Like we can customize route callouts, and the state of this element is much bigger. So you can see here that it has some characteristics, some flags, some indicators that helps to draw and inflate your composable with data. So let's go back to Android Studio. You can also see here another button with shopping cart icon, and let me show you in the code how it looks like. Yeah. By tapping on this button, we want to show full search screen with predefined query. For that case, we want to open it with shops. In this case, we don't use search panel state, but we use dash controller instead. Let me open documentation again and show you what controller is. As far as I remember, it's coordination API, and coordination API allows you to manipulate the navigation state encapsulated in UX framework, and that makes integrating your services with the framework pretty easy. So you can walk through documentation to get some insights to understand how it works and what features it provides, but we want to go to the search section. Yeah. Here the function I'm calling in my code. Yeah, it's here. Dash controller open search. And here we can see descriptions. It provides user ability to open search screen. And let's check it out in the application. Yeah, it's working. So documentation is updated. So UXF has the powerful options to customize your application and to control inner navigation state. So it's up to you what components you want to create from scratch and what components you want to use. We also have a public sample app. It's publicly available on the GitHub. It almost the same as I demonstrated today, but it has a nice drawing panel where you can play around with different toggles, with different parameters. You can rebuild the application, completely rebuild the application. So and use different UI elements by playing with these toggles. Just feel free to clone it, build it, and try this out. Also, I mentioned that UXF adopted for different form factors, so you can build up and start using it on vehicles. We have special integration module for that. You can build a tablet application or even for mobile phone. All form factors are supported. Yeah, and possibly that's all I wanted to show you today. Thank you.
Thank you, Dima. Got a couple questions. One of them I answered in the chat, but it was about getting your app 16K aligned for Android Studio. So if there's anything you wanted to add there, I believe all of our Mapbox apps are 16K aligned. The other question was, could you talk a little bit about the search tool? So you showed the categorized search for if you want to go back to that. I don't know if you remember the session, point in the session where you showed that. Yeah. The question is, would the new search tool bar with the categorized search be available to our existing mobile navigation Android Auto integration customers to allow Android Auto users a more streamlined interface? Can you talk a bit about this?
Could you please repeat the question? I'm not sure I get it.
Yeah.
Get it correctly.
So Dave writes, would that new search toolbar with a categorized search, the one you just showed, be available to our existing mobile navigation Android Auto integrations to allow our Android Auto users a more streamlined search experience from the vehicle? Or is this a UX framework only feature?
Yeah, this particular feature is only UX specific. But if you want to integrate it with Android Auto, we have some kind of adapters. Let me show it in documentation page. Yeah, we have configuration API. Configuration. Yeah, you can use your own search engine and implement integration with Android Auto or whatever you want. You may have your own custom I don't know, head unit or system, and using this search engine, you can have integration with the UXF. Yeah, you can reflect search result on the UXF, on the map, and also on your custom, I don't know, screens if you want.
Okay, cool. I got another question here, more of a high level one. Can you talk a little bit about how to decide between using core navigation SDK and the UXF framework? So you talked a little bit about, the trade-off between ultimate flexibility to build anything you want with the core SDK and, quick time to market with the framework. But maybe dig into this a little bit. Do you have some examples? Maybe there's a customer or something you could think of that, this would be a great application for UXF, whereas this might be a better route to use a core navigation SDK.
Okay, let me think. Yeah, as I mentioned, it depends on your timeline, your resources, and with UXF you can build much faster, much quicker. And examples, I'm thinking about delivery service when you don't need to dive into small components and understand how it works, how they communicate between each other, and you just want to give your users, give, I don't know, delivery guys an options to thrive between 2 points. And you want to start fast and early, and I believe that the best option you have. So you can deploy your application, I don't know, pretty fast and give your users ability to use it.
Okay. So the next couple of questions have to do with some of the the hybrid between the two options. So if you use the UX framework, one of the questions is how much ability do you have to override design styles in the UX framework and change what is pre-built there?
You can change UI completely. As I mentioned, we have not configuration, but customization API. Yeah, you can implement from the scratch full screen, maneuvers, banners, all UI elements are customizable. If you don't want to build them from scratch, you can just use your own colors or your own fonts, maybe icons, just to customize it a bit easier. Yeah, that was the question.
Okay. So talk a little bit about the possibility to mix and match. Is it possible to use the UX framework for guidance, but the core SDK for routing, or some hybrid between the two methods?
The UX and core is not something that supposed to work in combination with core and UX. But we're trying to, at least have some models. The same, we try to expose models from core up to UX framework. So if you want to substitute some elements from UXF with your own logic and use some core features, it will be possible, but it's not what's supposed to do.
Okay, so at this point, it's you make your decision at the beginning of your project. Am I going to be a UXF implementation, or am I going to build the core framework? So probably along the lines of what you said earlier, deciding how much custom functionality you need versus could I
Yeah,
build on the pre-built. And
yeah,
we
but
didn't go into a lot of this, but there is, Dima mentioned, there's a lot of flexibility in terms of styling, and you can make a pretty significantly different looking app if UX framework. Sorry, Dima, go ahead. You're about to say something.
yeah, but I think about stability of using UX framework, and if you need more control, you can use core components, some individual core components, but it would be harder start from core and then migrate into UXF. So that's what I wanted to add.
Oh, okay. So you can start with the UXF
Yeah,
project and do some core calls in your app. You can combine them. Okay, cool. That helps. And then somewhat related to this, how much flexibility do we have in adjusting navigation logic beyond the default UX flows?
Usually our navigation flows meets industry standard, and there's something that is based for navigation application. But if you want to, I don't have something in mind that can be customizable in navigation flow. But you can skip some steps, like we can skip destination preview. Let me open an example. When I tap on POI, I start showing destination preview state. And if you don't want, if you want to skip this state and after tapping go directly into route preview, you can customize it. Also, you customize edit trip screen and put your stops in different order. So it's also possible to do with our configuration. Yeah, some features are configurable, but no, mostly navigation flow are stable.
Okay. And our last question here comes from Dave. want you to talk a little bit about how do you choose or how do you turn on and off overlays or switch to a satellite-based map in your app? What would you recommend a method for doing that?
To switch overlay?
Overlays and changing the base map to satellite, so on.
Okay, let me. If you have your own style that you created in Mapbox Studio, you are able to define it in configuration sections. As far as I remember, it's map style. Yeah, map style. I need to remove here and here. Yeah, and we can define satellite style, as far as I remember. Night style and all others. And then you can switch them with dash controller, as far as I remember.
Okay. Okay, great. Thank you so much, Dima. That was the end of the questions. Thanks for walking us through UX framework with some great demos and examples. Folks, if there are any other questions, we might have a minute here. Otherwise, thank you for joining us today. And remember, this session will be available later on today, so you can rewatch it or any of the other sessions here at Build. So thanks again, and we'll see you at the next one.
Thanks all.